So I'm Gavin, I'm with GetYourRockOut, and I'm here at the Islington Academy in London with Primitai.
That's correct.
Hi guys, how's it going? You good?
That's going really good. And on the road with Sepultura for the past week or so, and it's been absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, this is a 5-day tour. This is for the UK tour you're on, isn't it? So this is the last day.
This is it.
It's come around very quickly, yeah. It only seems like yesterday we were loading up the van and thinking, oh my gosh, it's a long way to Weymouth, I hope it's not all flooded down there. Which it sort of was, but yeah, these gigs have absolutely flown by. It's been a dream come true playing these gigs.
Had it been a gig a night, or you had a break, didn't you? I think I've been keeping up to date on online, and I think you had a couple of days off, didn't you?
They went over a very choppy Irish sea for a show in Dublin, and then had a sequence of events involving missed ferries and all sorts.
Oh god!
Yeah. We just had a chill night out in Manchester while they were doing all that as a night off.
Oh really?
Which was nice for us, yeah. We'd love to go and play in Dublin again. Like we were there this time last year on a tour, and we do miss it. Hoping to get back soon.
So it's a good sort of good reaction over.
Absolutely,
really.
Definitely.
What's it been like across the tour though? I mean, obviously this is like you said, the fifth night. I mean, I know you just said that this is a venue you haven't played before, but the other venue is obviously Dublin, naturally. But what's it been like across the board? The other venues and that, has it all been a good sort of response?
I mean, all the gigs have been really great. I mean, some towns you always get like a more sometimes you get a more enthusiastic response in some towns, because especially with places like, you know, your main cities like London and all that, people are so spoiled for choice with gigs. You know, I mean, usually you get, you know, some gigs, well, like Tom himself, who probably ends up going to 3 or 4 gigs a week.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have to conserve some of their energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, Weymouth, which is the first night of the tour, I don't know how often they get gigs down there, but everyone seemed to be going mental. You know, even from the first opening bands, they were just running around the place.
Which guy was this, sorry?
This is Weymouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but, you know, wherever we've been, they've always been really appreciative and, you know, always seem to have enjoyed it. And
okay, so you think Weymouth has probably been the highlight of the tour, is it?
in terms of sort of
crowd anticipation,
crowd watching, it's been absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So do you think London's got a lot to live up to sort of tonight then?
Yeah,
it really does. Even last night in Manchester, we played at a venue called the Ritz, and we're reading the history about the venue before we went there. They've had the Beatles played there once. You know, we're used to playing reasonably small places. We turn up in this grand old theatre. Just think, oh my goodness, it was a real privilege to play there, and it was full of people. And it's nights like last night, and hopefully tonight as well. Really, all the nights on the tour. It's why we're all in the band. It's why we want to do this. We want to go out on stage and just give people the best 45 minutes, half hour, whatever we get that we can possibly give them.
Absolutely. So I bet you only wish that there had been more dates on the tour.
I don't know if I could survive more days, to be honest. I think I might have been going a bit overboard after the gig.
We had a day off after the Bristol gig, and we went well overboard after that one. So
oh really?
It was quite a good idea to have a day off after that.
So obviously, in this instance, I mean, you have played with some great bands. I mean, you played with Grand Magus, didn't you? I don't know, was that last year?
Yeah, just about this time last year. Yeah, all over the UK.
Obviously now with Sepultura. I mean, how did that come about? Obviously, I mean, that must have been quite an invitation, really.
We knew through our booking agent the tour was happening probably 4 or 5 months ago, and we knew that we were put forward for it, but time went by and we didn't hear anything. There was another band, Revoker, got the spot, but 2 weeks before the tour they dropped off the bill. So we got a phone call saying, guys, can you do it? I said, of course we can.
They drop everything.
You know, it was still in pencil in the diary, you know, just like fingers crossed something will happen and we find a way onto it. So it was amazing news when we did.
Oh, that's brilliant, yeah. Fantastic. So obviously you've got a new album out, Rise Again.
That's it, yeah.
What's the reaction from that been? Has it been good? I mean, it's been out, how long has it actually been out for?
It's been out since last October.
Oh really?
So
okay.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well, and the reaction's been absolutely amazing for it so far. I mean, I haven't really knock on wood, I haven't seen a bad review yet.
Okay, yeah.
That probably means that, you know, that one's coming and it's going to be a really bad one, but for now it's doing really well, and yeah, it's really good to see it, like, you know, do that well. So when you work on something like that for so long, and it's almost like, it's like your baby basically. You're sort of, you know, you're keeping it to yourself for, you know, 9 months, a year and a half or whatever, and then eventually let it out into the world, and if people start slagging it off straight away, it's really quite bad for your self-esteem. But so far it's doing great, and Yes.
Is the anticipation big? I mean, you say yourself, you spend 9 months working on an album, recording it. You know every song, every last little detail, and then obviously you put it up on a crowd who've never heard it. To you, it's literally second nature.
It is. I mean, it's like there's those moments where you sort of you're watching people and watching them whilst you're playing it, and you're thinking, why didn't he go mental at that little bit just there? We spent 2 days in the studio making sure that bit was absolutely amazing, and he just let it roll on by. And then they go mental for other bits where we're just like, we were just kind of winging it,
We've been playing songs from the album. Some of the songs from the new album, we've been in the live set for like a year and a little bit longer, some of the songs. So even before the album came out, some of the more hardcore Primitai fans knew like maybe 2 or 3 of the songs if they'd been to see us a few times.
Okay, yeah.
We haven't yet played all the songs from the album live. We've probably played about half of them live.
Is there a good reason for that? Is it just...
It's just with the sort of the set times we get given, you got to play the ones that we think are the best and that people want to hear the most, really. So,
and also, the previous album, The Line of Fire, there's some really good songs on that. There are some, we've had it on this tour, people come up to us afterwards saying, why didn't you play Degeneration tonight? There are songs from the previous album that people actually want to hear, so we have to consider that maybe when we're making the set list up. So we've really tried to make a mix of that previous album and the newest one for this tour. And I think it's been a pretty good balance. The only complaints we've had have been some people saying, you didn't play the one I wanted, rather than anyone complaining about the stuff we did put in.
Yeah.
Which is good.
No one complained that we did play that song rather than not play it.
Exactly. So that's a triumph.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
So, was it a brand new set that you put together? Obviously, you're saying you were given about 2 weeks' notice about the tour. I mean, how prepared were you?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we always have to do. There's certain songs where you always have to play them. So your main singles, whatever. Like for us, is like The Line of Fire. We have to play that. Scream When You See Us off the new album. We have to play, and
Fortune Favours the Brave off the new album.
Fortune Favours the Brave. We have to play. Outside of those, 2 or 3, we can really just do what we want, and and sort of just basically come up with a set list that we think sounds amazing, and we don't really try to tailor it to to sort of the tour that we're on, but certainly try and at least make the set list flow as well as it can, and put in the songs that are going to work the best at that moment in the set. And
we weren't just tempted to play like our 5 or 6 fastest songs because we were out with a fresh band. Just we try and make something that we think would be really good fun to watch.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Obviously, talking about your new album, obviously you've got Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest.
Yeah,
I mean, how did that come about? I mean, that's quite a crazy sort of guest, really.
I mean, it was quite serendipitous, to be fair. It was really good to actually get him on the album for that one. I mean, we sort of, the way it worked out is that we were actually signed to the same management company that he's signed to, and so we sort of all in this big little family, and when we came to think we wanted to add a little extra something to that album, that was a good way to go about it. And of course, being from Judas Priest and being he's a wicked guitar player as well, so it worked absolutely amazing. And to have that kind of pedigree behind it and that kind of skill, it really added a new element to the song. That
is there any sort of is there any pressure to sort of like replicate his part on playing that song live?
I had a few difficult hours at home and I had to try and learn it for the video. Yeah, certainly. Fortunately, we edited it, so didn't have to learn the entire thing. It was a real workout,
though. Okay, so obviously having listened to some of your tracks actually off your last album and your newest album, one thing that's quite apparent really is that you really do have like a classic sound. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of a classic foundation, but you really are trying to go into sort of a new sort of area with it, trying to make it a bit fresher. I mean, with the sort of, if you will call it, the old school influence, I mean, is this intentional? I mean, is it something that you've intentionally done, or is it just something that's naturally happened?
Oh, it's something that's kind of naturally happened. I don't think we go out there with the intention of saying, right, we're going to try and sound like, these 5 bands with this song or something like that, or try and do an amalgamation of that. I mean, it's more just what we listen to in our day-to-day lives and put that into our, into the actual music. I don't think, we ever go into a song saying, right, it's going to sound like this period or this era. What we always do is just try and play what we want to hear, and in this, basically try and write a song that we would enjoy ourselves.
Exactly.
If that's got something in it that we do, and then that's so be it, really.
and seem to have had a great response from that. Naturally, like I said, especially online, said you haven't had a bad review that you've seen from the new album.
Onward, yeah.
Okay, well, brilliant. So, what's next? Obviously, finishing up the tour tonight. I said we mentioned you'll be playing Oldfest this year.
That's right.
As well.
We've got Hammerfest as well.
Hammerfest. In a couple of weeks, isn't it?
That's it's about 6 weeks from now, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's going to be amazing. We're very lucky. We've been booked on the main stage for that, very late at night on the Saturday.
Oh wow!
So we expect to see a room full of incredibly drunk people. Try and do something appropriate for the mood as well.
Yeah.
Festivals like Hammerfest are such a real celebration of everything that's pure and good about the underground heavy metal scene, which we're incredibly proud to be a part of, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to not just play and meet people, but also just see some of our favourite bands, because there's a very good chance if we weren't playing we'd be going anyway just to get drunk and watch all the bands that are playing.
So Hammerfest, is that the one that takes place, is it Prestatyn?
Yeah, Butlins or something.
Is that Butlins, is it? What's that like? Because obviously I've been to like a few festivals, but I've never been to one where they actually have chalets. Is everyone well behaved?
We haven't played Hammerfest before, but we played Hard Rock Hell, which is like its sister festival, back in 2011, and honestly it was kind of the most surreal experience I've ever had. It's great. It's so much fun, and everyone there is just there to have a good time. But it's the fact that you're sitting and watching, whatever I think is like Blackstone Cherry and all that, going on, and you're sort of watching them, and it's absolutely amazing. They're doing a blind drive set, and then you look over, and then there's like, these little like racing arcade games that you can just go on and set, and you just get drunk metalheads going on the arcade games whilst watching Blackstone Cherry and drinking a beer. And it's like, I couldn't think of anything better to do with that Saturday.
Brilliant. Okay, so are there any other plans obviously in the festival? Are we going to play any more videos, any more studio time?
We're thinking about doing another single from the album, and we haven't got any specific dates or timescale for that just yet, but hopefully first quarter of this year. And there's a few ideas knocking around for new songs as well, just because we want to get a little bit ahead, but we haven't started like properly jamming out new material yet. What we really want to do is really more stuff like this tour, where it's sounds naughty, but play to other people's crowds and try and win them over. Yeah. Because it's very difficult as an unsigned band. We're self-funded, we pretty much self-promote, and it's very hard to pull people in from the outside. From where we are, it really helps. Every opportunity we get to be out more in the public eye is amazing for our band. So playing for a crowd like Sepultura's crowd.
It's quite a
it's
crowd.
An unbelievable opportunity. Yeah,
quite a loyal crowd as well.
Oh yeah. But they've been pretty good to us so far.
Brilliant.
It's a great challenge to try and win them over, because obviously they're a much heavier band than us.
Yes.
So we've got to go up there. The band who are opening us to Death Remains, they're a metalcore band. Yeah. So we're going on sandwiched between them as this kind of like quasi old school classic metal band.
You've got two very much full on sort of not screamo type band, very aggressive vocalists, and obviously that's not the case with you guys so much, is it?
And you've got us sounding like a cross between Short and Bodom and metalcore, It's a challenge, but we put everything we've got into the live performance. We don't leave anything on the stage, and people like that. They feed off it, even if they think the music's not really their cup of tea. If they see us and they know we mean it and we're trying as hard as we can, normally we've got a good chance of winning them over. Yeah,
it's like a sense of like authenticity, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To show them that you are serious. Yeah.
There's nothing pretend about us. What you see up on stage is exactly what we are. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that even though the level of production is quite high on some of the studio stuff, that is still exactly how we want it to sound.
Okay, brilliant. Well, do you know what? Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. Good luck tonight, and obviously any future plans, and fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.